2024 ins and outs for social media based off of the things that I learned in 2023. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sarah. Don't know, I am a full-time content creator. I kind of just want to talk about social media. If you're on your content creator journey, then make sure to watch this. And before we even get started, don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't. Let's just get straight into it. Starting with a banger. Ins that I'm seeing is niching down isn't as important as it once was, especially if you're not at the beginning of your journey. Say you've been doing content for like a year or so, you feel that you have a pretty good community, you have a good following, then it's time to kind of expand out of your niche. And that just means sharing more of myself. I've built a pretty good audience based off of my niche. So for me, expanding is going to be sharing more of me beyond the makeup. I have a pretty good community, and now personally, not just for my community, but for myself, I want to expand in what I'm sharing with the world. There's gonna be so many new creators in 2024. Like, if you think 2023 there were so many creators, like everyone and their moms is doing content creation, get ready for 2024, because everyone wants a piece of the pie. And I want everyone to have a piece of the pie, but that just means that there's gonna be even more people trying to be content creators in 2024, which means a lot of the content is getting very saturated, and you have to stand out. If you're gonna succeed, you have to stand out. So one way to stand out is by giving lots of value in your content. Value can be you teaching something, like if you're a beauty content creator like me, or if you're in fitness or fashion, like you need to give value. And sometimes the value could even be being relatable, but you have to offer something. I don't want to scare you and overwhelm you with this thought, but there has to be intention behind every single piece of content that you're putting out. Like, what is the purpose of the content? What is the person that's watching this gonna get from this? That really has to be like at the forefront of your mind when creating content. It's just gonna help you grow so much quicker if you think about it that way. Next in is quality over quantity. And you guys, like I said earlier, there is gonna be so many new creators, and that means standing out. I will keep saying that. You have to stand out. And one of the biggest things we're gonna see this year is quality. Quality is going to make you stand out, because all of the new people, if you think about it, they're like 4 years behind when it comes to their journey. So if this is your second year, third year, fourth year, you've been doing it, you're gonna have to up the quality of some sort, because you're gonna have to stand out from the people that are just hopping in. And that doesn't mean go out and buy a camera. It does not mean that, but quality can mean a few things. Quality can mean actual quality of your footage, your videos, and you can use your phone, guys. You can use your phone. Update your settings to be 4K. 4K is the quality that we're looking for from the seasoned creators. If you are a year into creating, you are considered seasoned at this point, and it's time to level up. Okay, I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. It's time to level up, and 4K settings on your phone is where it's at. Quality of the video, whether that's your phone or a camera, I still personally think for TikTok, the phone is where it's at. If you're still trying to grow and your content isn't performing the way you want, don't think that buying a camera is going to get you where you want, because that's not what it's about. So don't go out and buy a camera. Upgrade what you currently have. Upgrade the settings to 4K, get a microphone, and last but not least, because this is really, really, really important, guys, this one is so important, editing. Editing and audio, all three of these things are equally important to each other, but editing. There's this thing called signature series. It's basically when creators do something and it's basically their style, and they do it over and over and over again, and it keeps working for them over and over and over again. That's a signature series, and editing has a lot to do with signature series. So if your editing is not quick, it's not witty, it's time to really study other people's content. Don't just study it and compare, study it and do it. Because editing is where it's at. Like, if you need to watch tutorials, watch tutorials. Back in the day, I learned how to edit by watching YouTube videos and taking notes in a notebook and just constantly using those. So this is a skill and it's going to take time to get better at. So there's no better time than now. Next up is long form content. This is a fact for TikTok. This is not a guess. This is a fact. TikTok is pushing longer form content. So you're going to have to figure out a way to do longer videos, but this is the catch. Your videos have to be engaging. Like, they can't just be long and boring. Watch time matters, and the first 3 seconds matter. If you cannot capture someone in the first 3 seconds, they're not gonna watch like a 3-minute video. If you don't have like quick editing, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to work on the editing skills in order to master the long form. But the long form content is what TikTok is pushing. So if you can master it, good. Do that, because I feel like TikTok still wants to compete with YouTube. And I think we're gonna move away from like just scrolling this year. Like, we wanna find our people where we can just watch them while we're cooking, you know, just like podcasts. Podcasts are a huge thing because people can just turn it on as background noise. And I think TikTok knows that and they want to get in on that. Now we're going to Instagram. Photos is sort of where it's at for Instagram, and thank God they're not as like edited, but they are edited in a different way. Like, I feel like it's gonna take more brain power for me to do photos because they're like Gen Z photos. It's not filtered, it's not posed, it's very like in the moment, but it's not really in the moment and it is posed. And the people who have mastered photos for Instagram, like carousels, it's gonna do well, and I'm trying to get a piece of that pie. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. And then another thing that I personally really want to work on this year that's an in for me is YouTube talking head videos, which is this video right here. I really want to do more mixed media on my YouTube and really just make it so much more than just vlogs, because if you want to grow on YouTube, people need to opt in, and people aren't gonna opt in on your vlogs if they don't know you. Like, obviously the people from like your other communities, your other socials are gonna watch the vlogs, but if you want new eyes and you want to grow on YouTube, I think you have to have like a really good mix media. And again, people want to hear other people's like opinions, thoughts, perspectives on things, like this video right here. So I'm actually implementing this in my YouTube strategy for 2024 if you guys want to take it as well. These are 2024 outs, like things I think we're getting tired of, things that we're not going to do as much or shouldn't be doing as much. And the first one is aesthetics just cuz. After reflecting on 2023, this is a huge thing that I realized. We're moving to a place of more, even more like genuine, authentic people. And there's a lot of influencers I like. They're big, and I started looking at their content and I just feel like everything is kind of the same, like the way they dress, their houses, like all of that. And it's like, I think eventually we're gonna get tired of that. Like, that's just like a look. Like, no hate to anybody like that, but it stopped me for a long time because it's like my style, like my home, whatever. It doesn't look like that. But I think we want to see other people's lives, like people being their authentic selves. Like, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I want you to be poor like me. Like, no, I just want to see you as your authentic self and being confident as your authentic self. So for me, like, I'm not letting the aesthetics bother me anymore. Like, obviously clean your house, okay, unless that's part of your like gig, but like worrying about having like a matching PJ set or a robe, like, girl, I'm gonna wear sweatshirts and sweats. Like, that's my vibe, that's who I am, that's how I dress. It's important to look put together, but do it in a way that you want, not the way like everyone else is showing it. Like, next out is, if you can't tell by now, caring about numbers. Stop letting the numbers consume you, because like I said, followers and likes, like, they honestly just don't even matter. And if you're letting them consume you, stop letting them consume you and just keep going and keep growing. This is the -- thing that is out for me. I'm sick and tired of feeling this way, and sometimes the only way to change is to get really effing, I can't cuss on YouTube, sick and tired of yourself. And I'm sick and tired of feeling like I'm boring, like my life is not worth sharing, because the whole point is like everyone has a story, everyone has something, and your people will find you. Like the 30-plus-year-olds that are working on being their best selves and following their dreams, like maybe later in their life, and learning how to do makeup. There are people like me, there are people that want to see people like me, and I just have to be more authentic and share myself, whether I think it's boring or not, because I'm for someone, you're for someone, everyone is for someone. First thing that you should know if you are an aspiring content creator is you don't need 1 million followers. You don't even need 10,000 followers. Micro influencer on Instagram and on TikTok, I'm under 100K. Followers should be the least of your concerns when it comes to getting paid as a content creator. So that is just like tip number 1, and I want that to really inspire and motivate you guys. This is something I learned in 2023. The king of Instagram is stories and DM. It's actually DM, but the best way to get a lot of DMs is through stories. So it's not even your in-feed posts that matter that much, it's your stories. And this is how your audience, your community is engaging with you, interacting with you, and Instagram is keeping tabs on the DMs, not like watching you. If people are replying to stories, interacting with stories, like they're gonna push your stories, and you can share so much through stories. And stories are very like behind the scenes type of content. They really allow your audience to get to know you more. They're just more personal. And another thing that I learned is Instagram stories and TikToks are very, very similar. So you want to approach your TikToks like Instagram stories. This leads me to something else that I learned, and that if you're a seasoned creator and you're not doing this yet, you have to start doing this. When you post a video on TikTok or on Instagram stories, it's the same thing. This is what I'm saying. They're very similar, and you need to start looking at them the same. Because TikTok is more authentic, it's more raw, it's more behind the scenes, it's more what you have to say. You need to give context in your videos. TikTok is not for the aesthetic, okay? If you want to build community, you need people to comment. And in order for people to comment, they need to know like what the hell is going on in your brain. Not what's going on in the video, because people can see. Like vlogs, people can see what you're doing. This is so hard. This has been something that's been very hard for me, but it's starting to get much easier for me, is putting your thoughts into the video through text. You want people to know what's going on in your head when you're creating a video. Like people need to feel something, they want to relate to something. So there needs to be context as to what's going on in the video, even if it's just makeup content. Like, give me something. What is this video about? Because people are scrolling. Like we have scroll fatigue, but people, best believe, people are still scrolling past. Like if you're not hooking them with what you're saying, what you're doing, or giving them some type of context through text, they're moving on. So think about that when you're making your TikTok content and your stories. People need context as to what the hell is going on. It doesn't matter if you think it's obvious, it's not. So start putting text on your videos. Don't be scared of putting text and captions on your TikToks. It is not Instagram feed. You don't have to be aesthetic with the actual video. You can put text on there. So that is like my biggest takeaway for TikTok, is turn your content into something that's a little bit more relatable, or gives your audience some perspective onto what you're thinking about something or what you're doing. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but for TikTok, like it's not just followers and it's not just likes. Like if you're still thinking it's about followers and likes, honey, we need to talk, because it's about so much more than that. All of these have to do with engagement, like likes and comments and saves and shares, but the king, the big daddies of engagement is saves. If someone is saving it, sharing it, or reposting it, that means they really, really, really like the content, and TikTok's like, oh shoot, like this deserves more eyes because people like this. People want to see and hear this video, so we're gonna push it more. So you should really be concerned about saves. Saves is king, and I would say queen is comments. And the way I think about comments is comments means your community is engaging, your community is strong. So you really want to focus on those two things. How can you get people to comment, and why are they going to save this video? So I'm giving you so many things to think about when you're creating something, because it really isn't just creating a video. There's so much more behind it, like why, the intention behind the video. And brands are really going to be looking at the comments, the community, because even brand deals, I think, and the way brands are going to operate with content creators is going to be different in 2024. It's going to be about community, and the comments show community, and saves show TikTok and brands like, oh, people trust this person, they like the way this person teaches, this person has a lot of value to offer, people are saving it. So those are the two main things. Forget the likes and forget the follows. Comments and saves. And another thing that I learned in 2023 as a content creator, I just came upon this realization, is that YouTube is not a social platform like TikTok, like Instagram. You want to think of YouTube more as like Netflix, Hulu, like that type of vibe, like long form content. Like people are going here like they're going to Netflix. So it's not a social platform, but obviously you can build a huge audience on it. But the way you approach it should be more like your own Netflix show. Okay, think about that. Just think about that. And that leads me to something else I learned, is you have to try different things, and you have to put yourself out there trying the different things. It's kind of like little mini experiments. You're not going to get it right the first time. If something is new to you, it's not always going to be right, and it's not always going to be perfect, but you have to keep doing it. You have to keep trying and performing little experiments. Like, take the pressure off yourself and just see it as an experiment. It's not going to be the end of the world if something doesn't do well. You're just going to learn from it and apply it to your next video and just keep going. And I'm in the process of doing that right now too. That stopped me a lot in 2023, but I feel like that's the best way to get a lot of growth on social media. Mindset is everything. A lot of people wonder how I do this full time, and I will tell everybody it is my mindset. I work on my mindset constantly. My morning routine is such a big part of my life because it literally changed my life. And I made a glow up challenge for you guys because I want other people to feel the power of kind of like getting your life together, getting yourself together in order to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do. That's another thing that I learned, is your business can't run if you don't even know how to run yourself. If you have no discipline, like there's just no way that the business is going to operate. So personal development is a huge part of being an entrepreneur, being a content creator. Like, you have to work on yourself and you have to work on your mindset. And I'm not just talking like sometimes, I'm talking like every single day. There needs to be a routine in place where you're working on you, and that is like the priority for you, because it will change your life and it'll allow you to work less, attract more. It's very hard to show up every day when no one is forcing you but yourself, because it's so easy to get into our emotions about it and not do the work. But one thing that keeps me consistent, and this is something that I learned, is you have to know your why. Why do you do this? So if you're a content creator right now, no matter what level you're at, you need to know your why. Why do you create content? You have to know this because it's the thing that's going to keep you going when you don't feel like going. That is one of the biggest things that I have learned that a lot of people lack when they're doing content. And really sit on this, because it's gonna change your whole outlook on your content, on how you move, how you operate, and how you're gonna continue your content creator journey. Trust me. Here's another thing that I learned. A lot of people get consistency and posting every day confused. Consistency is not posting every day. Consistency is doing things over and over and over again, especially like when you don't want to, and sticking to a schedule. Like, you have to have a schedule as a creator, because if you don't, you're gonna keep relying on your emotions, and your emotions, since this is something new to you or new in your life, maybe like incorporating it, your emotions are always gonna feel like, I don't want to do this, like I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. So you have to create a schedule for yourself, and you will become consistent that way. Next is analysis paralysis, and this also comes with just thinking too hard and not taking action, because you've gotten to this point where you've analyzed it too much to where you're paralyzed. Like you can't move forward, you don't know, like you don't like anything, like you've lost all motivation, all inspiration, because you've just like picked yourself apart. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us and dictate whether we're gonna do something that day. And there are days where I just don't want to record. Like I'm not feeling it, but it's in the schedule. And time again, what I have learned is you have to take action. Action brings motivation. Action brings inspiration. And once you sit down and do something, you will eventually get into the flow state. And the flow state is just your creativity is just kind of like flowing because you're in the zone. And ideas are coming to you. You're doing things, it's coming easier because you're in flow. And the only way to get in flow is sometimes to sit your ass down, set the timer for 1 hour, and just do it. Less thinking, more doing. Everything is a muscle. If you don't do it now, it's going to be hard because you haven't practiced how to do it. You haven't built the muscle to do it. So it really just is a matter of doing things over and over, like repetition. Get your reps in to build that muscle. And just personal growth, obviously. And just to get better as a creator, you have to have these moments of trying things even when it's really uncomfortable. And another thing is, stop saying you're trying. You're trying. I'm so big on language. If you know me in person and you're telling me these stories like I'm trying, or like I want to do that, like, oh, I'm just like a part-time creator. No, your words hold so much power. Stop downplaying what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you do it full-time or not, you do it. So stop downplaying what you do, because the more you downplay it, like less opportunity comes to you when you downplay yourself. Like you're basically telling the universe like you're not worth it by saying those things, and then that's what the universe is going to reward you with, is things like you're not worth it. So stop downplaying what you're doing. Stop saying trying. You're doing it and you're doing your best, and that's all that matters. Everyone's journey is going to be different. I think that's it as far as like 2024 ins and outs for social media, being a full-time content creator. If there's anything else that you guys want me to touch on specifically, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a comment, and don't forget to like this video. I love you guys so much, and of course I will see you guys next time. Bye.